Dear students, Namaste. I am Dr. Pallavi Gupta here under the election law. The title for the lecture is today is Electoral Offences. Under this title, I will cover the malpractices, various malpractices which are affecting free and fair elections under section 125 to 136 of the Representation of People Act. The name of these malpractices has been given as electoral offences. There are various malpractices, basically is known as promoting amenity or feeling of enmity between the classes in connection with election, filing false affidavit, holding a public meeting during the period of 48 hours, ending with hours fixed for the conclusion of the poll, restriction on the publication and dissemination of the result of the exit poll, offences by the company, and then disturbance at the election meetings during the election, and the printing of the pamphlet without the details of the publisher and all, violation of the secrecy of the voting. Officers who are on duty at the election are not doing the work as per the procedure, canvassing near the polling station, disorderly conduct in the conduct near the polling station or misconduct at the polling station, failure to observe the procedure for the voting, illegal hiring of the conveyance for the for the voters, breach of the official duties in connection with the election, and the government servant are supposed to not act as a polling agent, but they are doing at election, going armed with the arm as it is prohibited under the Arms Act near the polling station, removal of ballot papers without the authority, vote capturing, grant of paid holidays to employee on the day of poll, and the sale or distribution of the liquor on the polling day, fraudulently tampering with the nomination paper, ballot boxes, ballot paper, etc. So these all are the offences under the Representation of People Act. So let us take first promoting enmity between the classes in connection with the election. So we can say this is the first malpractice and the act of commission and omission are considered as a enmity, the first electoral offences. And for this, I would like to say here that any conviction for an offence under section 125 or under section 135 or under section 135A, 136(2), subclause 2, subclause A, that is the fraudulently defacing or destroying any nomination paper, it attract disqualification for membership of parliament and state legislature for a minimum period of 6 years from the date of conviction, and whatever may be the punishment imposed under section 8 subclause 1. Further, such conviction also imposed disqualification for voting for the 6 years. And so section 125 says about the promoting enmity between the classes in connection with election. It says that any person who is in connection with an election under this act promote or attempt to promote on ground of religion, race, caste, community or language, feeling of enmity or hatred between different classes of the citizen of India shall be punishable with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 3 years, or with fine, or with both. So I have here showing the pictures by which you can understand it is a punishable offence. And now filing false affidavit, or we can say the false information. Under section 125A, a candidate who himself or through his proposer with intent to be elected as an election false fails to furnish information relating to section 33 subclause A, of course nomination, or gives false information which he knows, or he has reason to believe whatever he is giving the information is false, or concealed any information in his nomination paper delivered under section 33, or in his affidavit which is required to be delivered with his nomination paper, he shall be punishable with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 6 months, or with fine, or with both. As I am saying that he is not the giving information, this picture is showing, and whatever he required under this act, it has to be given by the candidate, but they fails to do this thing. And the next is holding of public meeting during period of 48 hours ending with the hours fixed for the conclusion of the poll. It says that a person shall not convene, hold, attend, join, or address any public meeting or procession in the connection with an election, or he shall not display to the public any election matter by means of cinematograph, television, or other similar apparatus, or he shall not propagate any election matter to the public by holding or by arranging the holding of any musical concert or any theater performance, or any entertainment or amusement with a view to attracting the members of the public thereto in the polling area during the period of 48 hours ending with hours fixed for the conclusion of the poll for any election in that polling area. If anyone contravene this provision shall be punishable with offence with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 2 years, or fine, or with both. So here you can visualize by these pictures. And now the section 126A, there is a restriction on the publication and dissemination of the result of exit poll. Means there is a ban to publish the result of the exit poll within the prescribed time period as per the notification. The election commission shall notify the date and timing having regard due to the following in the case of general election and in the case of by-election, when the person involved or the company involved to give the result of exit poll. If a person shall conduct any exit poll and publish the result, or publish by means of the print or electronic media, or disseminate the result in any other manner during the period which is not which is against the notification of the election commission, so it shall be punishable offence. It shall be punishable offence with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 2 years, or fine, or with both. Here the exit poll means an opinion survey respecting how electors have voted at an election, or respecting how the electors have performed with regard to the identification of a political party or candidate in an election. Electronic media includes internet, radio, television, including internet, protocol, television, satellite or cable channels, mobile and such other media either owned by the government or the private person or by both. Print media includes any newspaper, magazine, periodical, poster, placard, handbill, or any other documents. Meaning thereby, the person involved in this in the exit poll opinion, collecting exit poll opinion and publishing the result must have to do it within the time as prescribed. If this offense is done by the company, means if result of the exit poll is done by the company without against the contravention of the notification of the election commission, then the person in charge shall be punishable with the offense. For this offense they will be punished with the imprisonment as well as fine. And now section 127 is saying that the disturbance at the election meeting. Any person who at a public meeting incites others to act in a disorderly manner for the purpose of preventing the transaction of the business for which the meeting was called. They means if a person disturb in the public meeting or instigate others to disturb or to act in disorder manner, then it is punishable with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 6 months or with fine, or which may extend to 2000 rupees or with fine. The offense under this section is cognizable offense. This section says that any public meeting of a political character held in any constituency between the date of the issue of a notification under this act calling upon the constituency to elect a member or members and the date on which such election is held. If any public officer reasonably suspect any person of committing an offense, he may require that person to declare him immediately his name, address, and if that person refuses or fails to do so, declare his name and address, or if the police officer reasonably suspect him of giving a false name or address, the police officer may arrest him without warrant. Means disturbing a public meeting amounts only to a electoral offense under this section 127. It is not a corrupt practices under the undue influence. Now section 127A is saying that restriction on the printing of pamphlet or poster. In fact, if any poster or a pamphlet is published, it is law requires that the details of the publisher or the publisher or the printer should be there. If detail or the publisher or printer is not there, it is a punishable offense with imprisonment and fine both. And section 128 is saying about the violation of the secrecy of the voting. Means secrecy of the voting should be maintained. This is under section 128. Every officer, clerk, agent or other person who perform any duty in connection with the recording or counting of the votes at an election shall maintain and aid in maintaining the secrecy of the voting and shall not communicate to any person any information calculated to violate such. It will be calculated to violating the secrecy of the person. A person involved in the contravention of this section shall be punishable with imprisonment for a term which may extend to the 3 months or with fine or both. Here the secrecy of the ballot means that once an elector has cast his vote, no one should know for whom he voted. Now section 129 is saying that there are certain officers who are doing duty at election. They are certain duty. They will not. There are certain officers, mean government officer. They should not act for the candidate or to influence voting when they are performing duty at election. So a person who is a district officer or a returning officer or as an assistant returning officer or a presiding officer or polling officer who are appointed at an election to perform such a duty. So this officer shall perform the duty in connection with the election only. They shall not do any act for the furtherance of the furtherance of the prospect of the election of any candidate. They will not these persons shall not endeavor to persuade any person to give his vote at an election, dissuade any person for giving his vote at an election, or they will not influence the voting of any person at an election in any manner. If any person does the contravention of this the provision, they are punishable with imprisonment which may extend to 6 months or with fine, and this offense is a cognizable offense. And then section 130, it is saying the canvassing of the vote near the polling station is prohibited. No person means a person shall not commit any following act within the polling station or any public or private place within a distance of 100 meter of the polling station. No person can do this. If a person does means if they are doing the canvassing for the votes or soliciting the vote of any elector, or persuading any elector not to vote for any particular candidate, or persuading any elector not to vote at an election, or exhibiting any notice or sign other than an official notice relating to the election within the 100 meter of the polling station, they are contravening this provision, and it is a punishable offense. It is a punishable offense with fine. It's not a imprisonment, but it's a punishable offense with fine only. Here by mistake I put a picture of imprisonment. So under section 131, this is saying that if anyone conduct disorderly near the polling station or in the polling station, it is a punishable offense. Means no person shall use or operate within or at the entrance of the polling station or in any public or private place in the neighborhood of polling station. They will not use any apparatus for amplifying or reproducing the human voice such as megaphone or a loudspeaker. They will not shout within or at the entrance of the polling station or in any public or private place in the neighborhood thereof, so as to cause annoyance to any person visiting the polling station for a poll, or as to interfere with the work of the officers and other person on duty at the polling station. Any person who contravene willfully obeys the contravention of the provision of this act of this section shall be punishable with the imprisonment which may extend to 3 months or fine or with both. And now section 132 is saying that misconduct, if anyone does misconduct at the polling station, is a punishable offense. If any person during the hour fixed for the poll at any polling station misconduct himself or fails to obey the lawful direction of the presiding officer, he may be removed by the polling station forcefully by the presiding officer or by any police officer on their duty or by any person authorized in this behalf. But this power shall not be exercised as to prevent any elector from having an opportunity of voting at that station. If any person who is removed by a authorized person from the polling station re-enters the polling station without the permission of the presiding officer, he shall be punishable with the imprisonment which for a term which may extend to 3 months, or with fine, or with both. The offence under this section is punishable offence. And now section 132 is saying penalty for the failure to observe procedure for the voting, meaning thereby if any elector to whom a ballot paper has been issued refuse to observe the procedure prescribed for voting, the ballot paper issued to him shall be liable for the cancellation. Although there is by mistake I just put here fine and imprisonment, there is no punishable offence for that. Section 133 is saying penalty for the for illegal hiring or procuring of conveyance at an election. If any person is guilty of any such corrupt practices as mentioned under section 123 subclause 5 in an election or in connection with that election, he shall be punishable with imprisonment which may extend to 3 months and with fine. And now section 134. Yes, it is talking about the breaches of official duty in connection with election. If any person without reasonable cause is guilty of any act or any omission in the breach of his official duty, he shall be punishable with fine which may extend to 500 rupees. And this offence under this section is a cognizable offence. And now section 134A is saying about the penalty for government servant for acting as election agent, polling agent, or counting agent. If any person who is in the service of the government act as an election agent or a polling agent or a counting agent of a candidate at an election, he shall be punishable with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 3 months, or with fine, or with both. And now section 134 subclause B is saying prohibition of going armed to a polling station or near a polling station. No one can go to the polling station or near a polling station with the arm. Only the authorized person, means returning officer, the presiding officer, or any police officer are authorized to go with arm near the polling station. If anyone contravene the provision of this section, they will be punishable with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 2 years, or with fine. Under section 135 is saying that removal of ballot paper from polling station to be an offence. If any person who at an election unauthorized way, or we can say if any person takes a ballot paper or attempt to take ballot paper unauthorized manner out of a police station, or willfully abets or doing of any such act, shall be punishable with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 1 year, or with fine of rupees 500. Meaning thereby a person cannot take out the ballot paper without the authority outside the polling station. If he does, it is a punishable offence. And section 135A is talking about the booth capturing. Whosoever commits an offence of booth capturing shall be punishable with imprisonment for a term which shall not be less than 1 year, but which may extend to 3 years, or with fine. And where such offence is committed by a person in the service of the government, he shall be punishable with imprisonment for a term which shall not be less than 3 years but which may extend to 5 years or with both. Here the booth capturing include so many things, for example, or so many activity. For example, seizure of a polling station or a place fixed for the poll by by any person or the persons making polling authorities surrenders the ballot paper or voting machines and doing of any other act which affect the orderly conduct of election. Number two, taking possession of a polling station or a place fixed for the poll by any person or persons and allowing only his or their own supporters to exercise their rights to vote and prevent others from free exercise of their right to vote. Number three, coercing or intimidating or threatening directly or indirectly any elector or preventing him from going to polling station or a place fixed for the poll to the cast his vote. Seizure, we can say number four activity, the seizure of a place for counting of the votes by any person or persons making the counting authorities surrender the ballot papers or voting machine and the doing of anything which affect the orderly counting of the votes. Number five, doing by any person in the service of the government means government servant or all of any of the aforesaid activities or aiding or conveying in or such activity in the furtherance of the prospect of election of a candidate. So this offense is a punishable offense and this offense is a cognizable offense as well. Now section 135b is saying that grant of the means it is necessary that a person should get the paid holiday to cast their vote. It is the duty of the employer. So every person employed in any business, trade, industry, industrial undertaking or any other establishment, they are entitled to vote at election to the House of People or the Legislative Assembly of a state. They shall be granted a holiday on the day of poll with salary. If and it is saying that there shall be no deduction or abatement of the wages of any such person, and means if it is not done, it is a punishable offense with the fine. Now, section 135 C is saying that there is a ban to not to distribute or sell the liquor on polling day. So it is says that no intoxicating liquor or other substance of a like nature shall be sold, given, or distributed at a hotel, eating house, shop, or any other place, public or private, within a polling area during the period of 48 hours, ending with the hours fixed for the conclusion of the poll for any election in that polling area. Any person who contravene the provision of this section shall be punishable with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 6 months or with fine which may extend to 2,000 rupees or with both. So section 136 is saying that there are several offences and the penalties are fixed under section 136. It means a person shall be guilty if a person is guilty of a we can say if a person does following acts, they shall be guilty of a electoral offense. For example, if he fraudulently deface or fraudulently destroy any nomination paper, or if he fraudulently deface or destroy or remove any list, notice or other documents affixed by authority of the returning officer. If any person fraudulently deface or fraudulently destroy any ballot paper of the official marks or any on any ballot paper or any declaration of the identity or official envelope used in connection with voting by postal ballot, or without the due authority supplies any ballot paper to any person or receive any ballot paper from any person or in possession of any ballot paper, or he fraudulently puts any ballot box anything other than the ballot papers which he is authorized by law to put in, or any person without due authority destroy, takes, open or otherwise interferes with any ballot boxes or ballot paper, and for other use if he takes this ballot box and all, if he fraudulently or without the authority attempt to do any of the foregoing activity or willful aids or abet the doing of such act shall be guilty of electoral offence, and they shall be punishable with the imprisonment for the term which may extend to 6 months or with fine. So these are the electoral offence which I have discussed from section 125 to 1 section 35, and here if a person conviction of this offence shall be disqualified for a period of 6 months apart from the punishment, and they will be disqualified to give the vote also. So this is all about the electoral offences. So that these offences I have discussed. The next topic for my lecture shall be Model Code of Conduct. Thank you very much for listening me and watching me.